Today I want to talk to subject why Chinese people are so creative, especially in this generation. As I know, my English is very poor, but it is partially my purpose of my increase my English skill. I wish you do not marking at my poor English. Why Chinese people so creative in this generation? It is not only my assertion, but seems a lot of people agree about that. I am sure. The reason become that I interpreted excessive difficulties that they had experienced this generation of the Chinese people. What I mentioned, difficulties Chinese people ever experienced, was utterly different with the difficulty the American people in this generation have experienced it. It was another level. If I said so, a lot of people will plea, how can you judge so easily, so enormous matter? Every individual people have own story. Without knowledge they have been through. It's absurd judging. But I wanted to say, in 1990s and the 1920s, in China, average people have no insurance, no government welfare policy, whatever. It means if you no money and you get sick, you will have only one result, that is you are going to die. Actually, it have been occurred many times around my closest relatives and members of my family, and I have been witnessed and experience of this kind of the tragic cases many times. In early 1990, when I was already married, aunt of my fiancée was dead. She's diagnosed uremia, kidney failure. As we know, the artificial kidney the technology was developed as early as in 1945. The commercialization was soon followed. The death of the aunt was much later in 1990. By the common sense, she was should not dead. The technology was already developed and commercialized already, but she was happened to be living poor country town of China, and most at all, she had no money. She was died young. When she was died, I was groomed to be. So the sudden death of the member of the family, my future-in-law, left a great expression to me, and she was the person living ups and down. The detail of this person I will tell you another episode. In this section, I want only briefly sketching her death only. She was just an ordinary country woman in her 40s when she was dead. For living, she was working as a cleaning woman at the cheap hotel for decades. At that time, cheap hotel is the China doesn't have a laundry machine, even hardware. Her health was declined. Long time washing work done by hand in the cold and wet condition. She working at that place until she can't moving her body anymore, and brought in to the household, which become my future-in-law, was on the stretcher. In my impression, she was bad, except she felt in my expression. She is a bad condition, except she felt extremely exhausted. In my expression, she was not bad, except she felt extremely exhausted, could not walk, and lie down in a most room, even joking with us. But as all, we know the effective treatment of kidney failure. Is either transplant others' kidney or artificial kidney treatment only. But at that time, either ways are impossible without money. Her condition is deteriorating rapidly. Died 3 days after. Went to the Yanbian hospital. It is a constant occurrence in our surroundings. There is a story. I don't know it was true story or someone made it by receive the guidance. The story said that one day a pregnant woman whose husband was a young police officer suddenly felt ill. Needed to admit a hospital immediately, but in the hurry, he forgot to take money with him, and when he arrived at the hospital, because immense bleeding, his wife already fallen serious condition, needed to immediate care, but without money, hospital refused at the threshold and let her husband brought money first, but it was middle of the night, and background There was no cell phone or some other method of communication, and her wife so gravely ill. Immediately care is needed. In desperate, he showed his sidearms as proof of his official identity, and he expressed his desire put his sidearm as a collateral. Even he knew it is a serious crime at that time, and repeated assurance that he will not get off without pay are followed, but the hospital receptionist was still take previous bad case as an excuse, coldly insist that there are no money, there are no treatment. Finally, the parents of patients got his call, gathered all the money they could, run to the hospital, but it was too late. The patients who left at the hospital lobby without care for many hours is dead. Next day, the storyteller tells the young man couldn't overcome his grief, sudden loss of his wife and baby in the belly, pull out his pistol, shooting to death all the people in the reception desk, and terminated his life as well. As I mentioned before, I don't exactly know it is a true story or really happened, or someone made it for it, but it really reflects typical phenomena of the Chinese society, especially Chinese hospital at that time. It's much more different now. Most average people have medical insurance, and there are no existence such as seeing patient refused from the hospital financially because financial difficulties. But in the 80s and the 90s, actually widely prevalent, doctor urges family to family of patients put down the payment even in front of the patients. Someone went through all the difficulties, what carving their brains were must, if own have if its own have no power overcome those difficulties, those miserable situation will anytime come to your doorsteps, and nothing to relying on. I think it is the important element push the Chinese people moving forward, undoubtedly. And that's also become motivated Chinese old generation moving hardly forward, overcome hardship, working hard, collecting money, and do not spending it. I think this is kind of traumatic reactions. On the contrary, people of United States live life of relatively in easiness, didn't have a physical hardship like hunger and aforementioned miserable situations. I don't have any mean to judge it is good or bad. I just want to analyze the true factor in current phenomenon of the people and what makes their characters only. Certainly, it doesn't applicable to Chinese new generation. They had no experience of the kind of traumatic experience, so their character. It's also no difference relatively rich countries people. You do not think so? Furthermore, what else we can learn from here? Sometimes difficulty doesn't seem always better to a person's life. On the contrary, it does those people more, bring out their energy, urge people to moving forward fastly. Okay, my this section is over. Thank you so much for watching. I continue my working in silence. Until finish it. We will see at the next section. Thank you so much again.